Find insight, guidance, and answers. Tune into Spirit with radio medium Laura Lee.
Did you know that you're a spiritual being having a human experience? If you've heard this credo before, you need to tune into your 5-Minute Spirit Reboot. I'm Laura Lee, and joining me in the studio today is the author of Remembering Qualities of Your Soul, Joyfully Living Your Godself. I'd like to welcome Dr. Paul Hanna.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm glad to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here too, especially after reading everything about you. Could you summarize for our audience the book you wrote, Remembering Qualities of Your Soul?
Remembering Qualities of Your Soul is about one's waking up to their divine self and making a decision. And that decision is based upon knowing that at least there's two sides of you. There's the ego side, there's the divine aspect. And I take people to a point where they learn how to wake up using their breath. Because breath is the most important thing in your life. It's the priority. From there, we go up with thoughts, and your thought learn how we want to convert energy into what you really desire. So remembering that you have that divine aspect and having the conscious choice, wake up every day with your breath to decide which one, the ego self or the divine self. We are all responsible for ourselves, our health, our happiness, but no one can make you happy except yourself. We must move in taking total responsibility. And so many of us are controlled by conformity. We do what other people do, rather than knowing who you are or what you are. We all have our own thumbprint. We all have our own gifts. The question is, you have your courage to live your God's out. So that is really prompted me to write this book, encourage people to wake up who they are. As you said, what am I thinking? What am I doing? You create your reality by your thoughts.
What was your defining moment when you discovered your God self?
Really started early because when I was very young, 12 or 15 or something like this, I was walking. I just got this big force kind of came over me. And I fell down and these 4 words, aspire, detachment, wisdom, and love. And the meaning about aspire to your higher self and detach from the sensations of life, but yet be in life. From that process of doing that, you gain wisdom and make sure all that's motivated by love. So those 4 things moved me through life, through medical school, to grad school, and through so many education. Then I realized education is very good, but it's limited because I was cultivating my talent versus my gift. When I woke up there's another aspect to me. So I get deep into metaphysics, into energy, and realize that I'm much more than the physical body. And I want people to wake up to that reality, when you can shine like the sun, glow like the moon, flow like water, because the sun shines on everybody. There's no racism, sexism, ageism, politicalism. So everybody, if you have sunshine and love, okay. Too many of us are attached to the intellectual, a spiritual, a physical body. I mean, we're imbalanced. You can't glow that way,
What would you say is the benefit for someone out there listening is the number one benefit of being in tune with their God self?
You had to have clarity. You had to know where you're going. Because if you have no clarity, you have no focus. You have no focus, you have no power. You have to have clarity as to where you're going. And that will lead you deep into yourself. So clarity about what direction you want to go is a big benefit.
I agree with you. So what would your number one tip be for our audience if they're trying to tap into that God self? What would you suggest? Number one.
Breath is number one. Learn how to breathe and how to think. Because if you can't think, you can't focus. You can't focus, you're scared, you're confused, you're being led by other people. So you have to use your breath and your thoughts to clarify as to who you are and what you are. You have to visualize and think that, emotionalize that, you manifest that.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom, Dr. Hanna. The book is called Remembering Qualities of Your Soul, Joyfully Living Your God Self. Where can they find it?
You can go on to hannasholistichealing.com and you can find the book there, or you can go to Amazon. It's also there.
Very good. Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today. And if you would like to tune into your spirit for daily inspiration, subscribe to the podcast Radio Medium Laura Lee at your favorite podcast forum and subscribe and share it. Thank you.